saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose.
That's one group. You had another group that came. You had one group, you had two groups that came down. You had one group that came down and took the daughters, and then you had another group that came down and mixed with the daughters of men, right, and gave birth to what's referred to as Jibarim, or mighty men of renown, right? And they put the word renown there to trick you. The word renown is not there in the Hebrew. The word is Shem, for skies or sun, where they get the word Shemesh, right? Men of the skies, right? Or gods in flesh. There was two groups. It's talking about a time period where the people or the mortals on the planet had fell to a point to where they needed a boost. You follow? It's talking about another period when the gods came down to mingle with mortals. You know what I'm saying? And to give, because the women on the planet had fell to a certain point, right, or been reduced to mortal or mortality, when they never were supposed to be reduced to that, being the original gods of the planet, because women are the original deities of the planet. They were here before men, and that's why men still got to come through women. There's no woman that came through a man. There's no man that didn't get here, right, that didn't come through a womb. Women are the first gods of this planet, the original deities. You follow what I'm saying? And because she had been reduced by mortal men down to a level to where she became mortal and forgot who she was, it was necessary to send a root to earth to bring her back up to that point, to give a boost to the genes again. You follow what I'm saying? So that story was taken, just like all the rest of those stories, from the Sumerian tablets and the ancient Temerian tablets that talked about the same situation as in the Egyptian text about Re and the Set and the Subject and the women that needed to be brought back up to Godhood again. That's why those priests and priestesshoods were set up to do that. If I'm saying in a certain environment where this took place, right, and they will be put on a certain condition that will allow these godly children to be born again. And you get that in the New Testament when they were trying to tell the story of a set horse again with Mary and Jesus, when Mary was taken to a convent and put in a certain environment to prepare her to be able to birth one of those children. You follow? And in that story, it wasn't Joseph that gave birth, that seeded the life for Yeshua, right? It was Jebael. And that's why they say, you go to the book of Luke, it says that the angel Gabriel came in unto her. Anywhere else in the Bible, when you see the word, when it says somebody came in unto somebody, it was sexual. But they try to disregard that in the New Testament. When it says, the angel of the Lord came in unto Mary, and then she was pregnant. You follow what I'm saying? So she had to copulate, right, with an angelic being to produce that child. Not a man. Not men. We originally were not men. We are not men. The word man comes from the Sanskrit word manu for moon. All those words mean moon. Moon, man, manu, all of those are the same words. You follow? We're not moon beings. We are solar deities. Rays, Re, Ra. And we have been reduced to men. So it's going to take gods to raise her back up to the level to be who she's supposed to be, not men. So that story was talking about a time when the seed had to be raised again because the people on the planet have become mortals that used to be gods. You follow? And the men had to be raised up back to gods through what's referred to in biblical times as the order of Zadok, the Zodakine priesthood. You follow? This priesthood in Jesus' time was referred to as the Essene order, or the ancient order of Melchizedek. It was a mystical brotherhood, right, where the select initiates would go, right, and be taught the necessary information that will give them back his godlike qualities. These were rituals and practices, and the order itself came out of the mystery schools of ancient Egypt. Freemasons, European Freemasons that is, took this concept and gave you the 3 degrees of Freemasonry: the Enter the Prince, Fellow Craft, and Master Mason. The Master Mason. You follow? At that point, you are what's referred to as resurrected. Anybody ever went through the law know what I'm talking about. You follow? And you are born again. And in order for Jesus to become who he was supposed to be, he had to be baptized by someone. Christians will tell you, well, that's baptized with baptism is for remission of sins. When they say Jesus is sinless, right? What was he being baptized for? They don't realize that was a ritual of a priesthood that he was a part of. And after he was baptized, it says that the Spirit of the Lord descended on him like a dove. Not before. So he wasn't a God before that point. He had to be initiated, right? And a ritual had to take place. And then he became God in the flesh. So the elders set up certain schools. And depending on the elder that was over the school or governed the school, a certain animal was depicted, only to signify the school in question.
Thousands of years ago, on this planet we call Earth, our planet was visited by various groups of extraterrestrial humanoid beings. These extraterrestrial humanoid beings had to leave their planet, and seek refuge here on Earth because their home planet had been destroyed by evil. When these extraterrestrial humanoid beings arrived on Earth, they chose to take residence inside the center of the Earth, because the surface of the Earth was inhabited by human beings. At this point in time in Earth's history, the human beings who lived on the surface of the Earth were all of one tribe, the Ebenoid tribe. Since they live inside the Earth, these extraterrestrial beings have now become interterrestrial beings. The center of the Earth where these interterrestrial beings reside also contains an inner sun. The inner Earth has been called by a variety of names by cultures around the world, including Shambhala by Buddhist, Agartha by Tibetans, Kurnuji by the ancient Mesopotamians, the Duat or Aminta by the ancient Egyptians, Hades or the underworld by Europeans, Xibalba by the Mayans, and in modern times, the concept of the inner Earth has given rise to what is called the Hollow Earth theory. Unbeknownst to many human beings, the activities of these beings which reside inside the Earth has affected the course of human history and human development. The first and most noble of the beings which resides inside the Earth is called the Shayuk. Compared to human beings, the Shayuk would be considered geniuses with exceptional intelligence, and telepathic and telekinetic abilities. The Shayuk have a dark brown skin complexion, they are between 5 feet to 7 feet tall, and their heads, brains, and cranial capacity is much wider and larger than the average human. The Shayuk come to the Earth's surface occasionally to teach and to trade with certain tribes of human beings. The teachings of the Shayuk are so profound that when they come to the Earth's surface to teach, they are often called deities, gods, priests, prophets, messengers, and seers, and because of this fact, the Shayuk have strict laws which limit the interaction of Shayuk tribal members' contact with the humans on the surface. The Shayuk commonly interact and have mixed in with the surface world humans called the Danakil or Danakil, also known as the Afar people, in present-day Eritrea, Djibouti, Ethiopia, and Somalia. The chief of the Shayuk is named King Fulkur, and his daughter is named Princess Radiya, and two of his brothers are named Amo and Yishak, who has always been jealous of his brother King Fulkur. King Fulkur's brother Amo had fallen in love with a surface-dwelling human female, and he would sneak to the surface world to visit her, and would also pass himself off to the surface-dwelling humans as a psychic and a magician, and for these acts, Amo was exiled to live on the surface, 20 miles outside of the present-day city of Mecca in Saudi Arabia. As long as the people in the inner earth spent most of their life in the inner earth, then they will not die. However, to be exiled to the surface world means a person from inner earth will eventually die like the mortals on the surface. In the caverns adjacent to the Shayuk, resides another group of nobles called the Sinin. The Sinin are also highly intelligent, but also have a fighting spirit. The Sinin are between 5 feet to 7 feet tall and have a variety of complexions from yellow to brown, and they are hairless and are most noted for their cone-shaped heads. The Sinin commonly interact and have mixed with surface world humans including the ancient Egyptians, the Olmecs in present-day Central America, the Mangkutut people in the African Congo, and the Paracas people in Peru. The chief of the Sinin is named King Lamsa, and his daughter is named Princess Lucina, and his son is named Prince Atif. One of the wretched group of beings which resides inside the earth is called the Samin. The Samin are grotesquely obese, pale, with long elephant-like noses, and are very negative and aggressive. The Samin were actually the manifested evil grafted out of the Sinin on their home world prior to these beings arriving on earth. Since the Samin were grafted out of the Sinin, it is the responsibility of the Sinin to police and keep in check the evil activities of the Samin. It is said that an American named Richard Sharpshaver encountered the Sinin and called them the Turos, meaning interrogative robot, and he also encountered the Samin and called them Duros, meaning detrimental robot. One day, the wretched Samin raided and invaded the village of the Shayuk, stealing food and terrorizing the Shayuk family. When King Fulkur found out about this invasion by the Samin, he sent a telepathic message to King Lamsa stating that the Sinin has neglected their responsibility to keep the Samin in check, because the Samin were currently raiding and invading the village of the Shayuk. Upon receiving the telepathic message from King Fulkur, King Lamsa went with his brethren to the caverns of the Shayuk to stop the invasion by the Samin and to drive the Samin back to whence they came. After driving the Samin away from the lands of the Shayuk, King Lamsa apologized to King Fulkur, but tension remained between the Shayuk and the Sinin for some time after the incident. In order to make peace between the Shayuk and the Sinin, King Lamsa offered his daughter Princess Lucina to be a wife of King Fulkur. King Fulkur accepted the peace offering from King Lamsa, and in turn offered his daughter Princess Radiya to be the wife of King Lamsa's son Prince Atif, as was the custom, and there was peace in the land for some time between the two tribes of the Shayuk and the Sinin.